This is the Let's Eat Healthy Community Grant Informational webinar. This webinar will discuss the application process, criteria, and provide helpful tips for proposal alignment. Please type in your name and the organization in the chat. We'd love to learn who's joining us today. This webinar is being recorded and it will be available on healthyeating.org. And if I haven't already introduced myself, my name is Sonia Fernandez-Arana. I'm the Let's Eat Healthy Program Manager for Dairy Council California. I'd like to welcome you all for attending. Before I begin to discuss the process and the criteria for the Let's Eat Healthy Community Grant Program, I'd like to share a brief background on our organization for those that are new to connecting with us. So for 105 years, Dairy Council California has empowered educators, school health professionals, and community leaders and beyond to elevate the health of children and communities through the pursuit of lifelong healthy eating patterns. So we are funded by our California's dairy farm families and local milk processors, and we are overseen by the guidance of California Department of Food and Agriculture. So as a nutrition organization, Dairy Council California supports nutrition in schools and in the communities through partnerships and provides resources to educate on the positive role dairy plays in health. And as an organization, our focus on education advocacy, dairy agricultural literacy, and collaboration supports the advancements of the health benefits of milk and dairy foods in achieving nutrition security and sustainable food systems. This webinar will present an overview of the Let's Eat Healthy initiative, review the 24-25 Let's Eat Healthy Community Grants application process, eligibility, criteria, and provide helpful tips to support applicants, and also share best practices to align project proposals to activate Let's Eat Healthy. So at Dairy Council California, we believe collaboration is vital to improve the health of communities, and that collaborative efforts have a greater impact on the health of children, families, and communities than any individual or organization can achieve on its own. And Let's Eat Healthy is an initiative powered by Dairy Council that activates our organizational cause and invites champions like yourselves to engage with us in the journey to empower, communities through coordination, collaboration, and co-creation. And the Let's Eat Healthy initiative values, which are displayed on this slide, really guides those partnerships. And together as a community of partners, we believe that every individual deserves equitable access to healthy, culturally diverse foods and nutrition education that centers on people's unique lived experiences. And we also believe that, supporting access to high quality, nutritious foods that also include milk and dairy, individuals are supported nutritionally across key life stages, and that science-based nutrition education and educating in healthy food systems supports a foundation for good health and nutrition. And through the community grant program, we are expanding our network of partners guided by these shared values. I would like to introduce briefly the 3 goal areas of Let's Eat Healthy. These goal areas are vital in the representation of proposals, and proposals must demonstrate alignment in one of the supporting goal areas, really specifically nutrition security and nutrition education. With nutrition security, it's really advancing that security within the focus of children and families. And the second, within nutrition education, it's ensuring that science-based nutrition messaging through the promotion, education are consistent, relevant, age-appropriate, and culturally informed. And really, education is a continuum of learning experiences that support individuals really build their knowledge and those essential skills to make those healthy food choices. And this really means reaching individuals where they live, learn, work, and play. And of course, collaboration. This is really growing the initiative within communities through the partnerships. So, that could potentially be those local partnerships that are established as a result of the grant program or even ambassadorship. So, and that's happening within the nutrition security, nutrition education tenets. So, as part of the application process, applicants are highly encouraged to download and review the Let's Eat Healthy strategic framework. If you're not familiar with this, to learn more about the initiative goal areas and coinciding objectives. As I shared, proposals must be consistent with the values and aligned to at least one goal and one strategic objective. So this framework is also a great tool to learn more about how this framework was developed, the benefits and the commitment of our partners who are engaging in Let's Eat Healthy, as well as other ways to cross-share, learn, and work together in the community. So the purpose of the Let's Eat Healthy Community Grant Program is to really engage, as I shared, in collaboration, activation, and initiative while supporting the advancements of Dairy Council's cause and vision. So the availability of the grant funding represents the continued commitments of the California dairy community in giving back to their local communities to create opportunities to further partnerships committed to the initiative's cause and are looking to make a difference with the funding to support proposals that have innovative ideas and solutions to meet the needs of communities in California. So the goal of the grant program is to improve access to nutrition through education, dairy act literacy, and access to nutritious foods that also represent milk and dairy. So the grant funding and eligibility, this is a competitive grant funding program. Dairy Council is looking to place a total of $30,000 across California in grant funding this year. Applicants may apply up to $10,000 in grant funding per project proposal. So an organization is eligible to submit more than one proposal. And if doing so, proposals must be unique in the project scope. And we are looking to award anywhere between 3 to 6 proposals, depending on the requests that are selected. Please note that only online applications will be accepted. So please visit healthyeating.org/grants to directly apply online. So for the purpose of planning, a copy of the application is available for download. Please note that when applying, you cannot return back to your application to make edits after you close out the window browser. So it's best to use a Word document when building out your application, and online applications that are submitted, applicants will receive a copy of that as well. So applications are due, will be accepted until 11:59 on Thursday, October 31st. And as I shared, we are funded by our California dairy community, and we will only accept applications from entities based in California. So if you are a California school district, school, local government, community organization, university, you are eligible to apply. Lastly, we are interested in building partnerships with those who are committed to advancing Let's Eat Healthy in their community and who promote the value of milk and dairy's nutritional contributions and supporting health, as well as that being part of a healthy food system. So applicants must also either represent or collaborate with organizations that align to at least one of the following sectors outlined in the funding tracks, and I'll address those funding tracks next. So there are 3 funding tracks: child nutrition, community health, and school wellness. Each track represents the engagement of priority audiences for Dairy Council California and are interested in influencing the environment supported within those tracks. So a project proposal must address a minimum of one of the priorities listed on this slide per funding track, and we can kind of dissect this just a little bit further per each track. So for the first one, as I shared, nutrition security, we want to improve the accessibility of milk and dairy in either federal child nutrition programs, the school environment, or out in the community setting. We also want to focus on food literacy that supports dairy agricultural literacy as part of farm to school efforts, and nutrition education that focuses on integrating educational programs as part of food access programs, and nutrition education that focuses on enhancing nutrition programming within any of the following settings. So it could be school environment, childcare, or community. And we are looking for proposals that do address campaign activation, promoting milk and dairy. And I will share a little bit more about those very specific campaigns and other campaigns that can support that. Promotion of milk and dairy foods through cultural foods, traditions, and food literacy programming. And lastly, we're looking to fund proposals that really support engagement of youth ambassadorship or university dietetic programs leading nutrition education, dairy ag literacy, or nutrition security projects. So for the first funding track, child nutrition proposal, I will address questions at the very end. You're welcome to submit those in the chat as I go through the different funding tracks and criteria. So with the child nutrition, we know that nutrition security programs like federal child nutrition programs, whether that's CACFP, summer meals, universal meals, provide kids access to those essential nutrients that's going to support their optimal growth, development, and academic achievement. And we really also know that child nutrition programs are a central source of nutrition education and farm to school programming that's happening within those settings. So through the grants, we are interested in enhancing strategies for programming that impact nutrition security, nutrition ed, and food literacy outcomes within schools or childcare centers. So if someone's interested in submitting a proposal for child nutrition, the applicant or project collaborator must represent or work with a child nutrition professional. So for nutrition security, we're looking to see projects that implement strategies of the Smarter Lunchrooms movement or Smarter Mealtime movement of California, or establish or enhance school pantries to improve access to milk and dairy, as well as other foods that are essential for health. And with food literacy, there are some specific resources that I'll be referencing that we're really looking to see proposals elevate. So the first one is implementation of Let's Eat Healthy Together, Explore Dairy. This is an exclusively digital unit resource that teaches children the journey of food from the farm to the table with an emphasis on milk and dairy, and includes experiential lessons and tastings, as well as farm to you programs and activities that are promoted by Dairy Council. We also want to support professional development plans on sustainable nutrition, emphasizing dairy's role for child nutrition professionals or others that are engaging within that area. For nutrition education, we obviously want to see evidence-based nutrition education resources elevated, and really Dairy Council's resources. There's also activation of nutrition-themed campaigns. So there is a Let's Eat Healthy campaign calendar accessible on healthyeating.org that gives a little bit more insight on what are those specific campaigns. Also, we want to support food literacy programming that does have dairy and culturally inclusive recipes. For engaging youth as part of the project, they must address one of the focus areas, which is nutrition education, nutrition security, food literacy, or dairy agricultural literacy. And we're really looking to engage youth or students in these organized groups or CTE programs such as culinary or agriculture. For engagement of university dietetic programs, we're really also there's a focus. They must work in schools or in a childcare center, and they also must address within one of those focus areas. But specifically for engagement of dietetic programs, we're looking for proposals that address school meal transformation, advance local school wellness strategies, also activate nutrition campaigns. And some of those campaigns could be, National Farm to School Month, National Nutrition Month, National June is Dairy Month, or World School Milk Day. And all of these are linked within that Let's Eat Healthy nutrition campaign calendar. Or they may lead or support with coordination of direct education. For the community health, we know that communities are really essential because they provide that accessibility of nutrition programming that's tailored to the needs of the individuals. So through the grants, we're interested in supporting culturally informed and evidence-based education programming out in the community, and then also support food access programs. So if submitting for a proposal, either the applicant or the project collaborator or collaborators must represent or work with a community-based organization. So for food access programs, we want to target specifically children or families. and are also looking to pair food access programs with direct nutrition education programming and utilization of Dairy Council of California's resources, and even activation of nutrition campaigns as part of nutrition programming. Cooking programs are also an area of interest, and we're really wanting to see proposals with the emphasis of cultural foodways and the connection to dairy. There are various resources accessible, such as Cooking with Families, a creative twist on familiar foods. This is a kid-friendly cooking video series. There's also Let's Eat Healthy Together, Explore Dairy, which I previously mentioned. And then the other resource that we're really hoping to elevate is Let's Eat Healthy Together. This is a video episode, which is a Telly Award-winning children's broadcast series. So all these resources are available on healthyeating.org. And if you're engaging youth within this community health track, there are those specific focus areas which are listed. I won't repeat those, but we are looking to activate at least one campaign, and this is very specific for this particular funding track and engagement with youth. It's National Dairy Month, which occurs in June, or World School Milk Day, which is September 24th, or looking to see proposals that do include implementation of very specific resources, which is Explore Dairy or other farm-to-you activities. Engaging university dietetic programs, there are those specific focus areas as well. But the proposals themselves, we really want to see dietetic intern students lead or coordinate the delivery of direct ed, or lead or coordinate food access programs in the community. So for school wellness, advancing the implementation of local school wellness strategies that target nutrition across the school environments is a priority for Let's Eat Healthy. And if submitting a proposal, we want to make sure that the applicant or the project collaborators must represent a school district, a school or organization that is working in the school setting and engaging specifically in school wellness work. So we are looking to integrate nutrition education programming as part of food access programs within the school environment and implement Dairy Council, nutrition education resources. That could also be activation of campaigns, also engagement of food literacy as part of those food access programs and efforts. For nutrition education, there are some specific resources. If there's kind of that cooking and food literacy occurring, we really want to see elevation of, one of the resources listed on the slide. And then there's also the activation of the very specific campaigns. So there's various different focuses and areas of interest within nutrition education that we are hoping to see be elevated in proposals for school wellness. And if engaging youth, there are those specific areas. And because this is kind of the school environment, we really want to target youth or, student groups and CTE programs. So they're very similar, culinary or agriculture. And if engaging in dietetic programs, they can support with, activating Let's Eat Healthy campaigns or leading or coordinating delivery of direct education happening within the school environment, or support with other, implementation of local school wellness strategies that specifically focus around nutrition. I know local school wellness can be very broad and encompasses so many other facets, but we really want to focus on nutrition.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Bye-bye.
And if you wouldn't mind muting yourself, sorry, we're getting a little bit of feedback in the background. Thank you. Criteria. So what are the application requirements? As I previously shared, proposals must be consistent with Let's Eat Healthy and demonstrate shared values for milk and dairy across the proposed plan. So proposals must address a minimum of one of the priority areas listed in that first slide. And Applicants must complete the project, including implementing and evaluating the project by December 30th of 2025. So the project implementation timeline or the grant cycle is going to be January through December 30th of 2025. So almost a full calendar year. Evaluation, when we're saying the project must be evaluated, we're looking for independent project evaluation data to be completed, as well as completing the final grant report by December 30th. So the selection process, as you guys know, the application is on Halloween, October 31st. All applications will go an external review, which includes both Dairy Council California staff and partners. Certain selected applicants will be contacted to schedule one phone interview, and scheduling will be at the discretion of Dairy Council California. Interviews will be scheduled between November 18th and December 9th. We'll be as flexible as possible with those that are identified for a phone interview. All applicants will receive a notification of acceptance or what the status is of your application the week of January 6th. Grantees will be required, if your proposal is selected, grantees will be required to provide a W-9 form and a signed letter of agreement prior to receiving funding. The funding disbursement plan is listed on this slide. And if the LOA is not returned prior to January 24th, this will impact the disbursement of that first payment. So just something to kind of keep in mind. So some helpful tips. I'd like to just share just a few tips to help applicants through the process. Of course, as I shared, the best thing to do is review the Let's Eat Healthy strategic framework to understand the focus of the initiative and also to really identify those shared values between your organization and Let's Eat Healthy. And hopefully once that's identified, developing that proposal and that alignment will be much stronger. We also want to ensure that you determine the target audience, who you want to impact, how and where this will occur, what is it that you want to achieve, and who will be your project collaborators. This will really help determine which funding track best to apply for. And keeping a copy of your working proposal is always best practice. This will also help make it easy to upload online. And as a reminder, the system that we use does not allow you to return to your application once you close out the browser. And when writing the project description, be clear to include this, the school or community sites where the project will be implemented. For instance, if an applicant is a school district, a strong proposal could include the grade level sites. So maybe you're targeting elementary, a middle school, or high school. You may also want to include the student grade level. So if that's K through 6, 3 to 5, the number of sites where the project will be implemented, let's say it's at 5 sites, and the total number of students to be reached through the project. That really helps reviewers really understand the full scope of your proposal. And if the project will target multiple audiences, for example, school staff, parents, or students, be clear on who, what, and how within your plan when providing that description within the overview, the methodologies, and really being clear about, explaining the intended goal and the desired outcome within your plan. Also consider the primary educational resources that will be utilized as part of the project when applying. We know there could be some secondary educational resources that might get built in as part of your plan after implementation starts, and that's okay, but we really want to make sure that all applicants are very clear in identifying the resources that they want to use initially. So we are looking for proposals that demonstrate the utilization of Dairy Council resources. It doesn't have to be exclusively Dairy Council, but we do want to see Dairy Council resources. So anything under healthyeating.org, whether it's Dairy Council or if the title says Let's Eat Healthy, it's all accessible at no cost to our Californian working professionals. Doesn't matter if you're a school or a community organization or a university, it's all available for you. And we definitely want to make sure that, you're providing the specific details on the roles of the project collaborator. So as best as you possibly can in explaining what their role is going to be. Are they going to be delivering education lessons to high school students? Are they going to be supporting with evaluating? Are they going to support with recruitment, training, site logistics, all those little things? Project objectives must be in alignment to the project description and implementation plan. So of course, a SMART, right? Use the SMART objective, that formula, considering what you want to achieve, how it will be achieved, who will achieve it, and how success will be measured. So we are looking for a minimum of 2 objectives within your proposals. Of course, you can include more, but we want to see that minimum. There should also be a progression and connectivity of project details across key sections of the application, including the project description, intended goals and outcomes, the project methodology, and project activities. So the project activities must align to the project proposal and intended outcomes. It's important that there's clarity within those key activities for each target audience. And we do have a few budgetary maximums for 3 categories. That's the food, equipment, and staffing costs, which does include stipends. So please, we're asking that the food, staffing, and equipment, so those 3 categories, if we don't list those additional costs under the other category, so there's limits specifically are set to strengthen the sustainability of projects after the grant term. So we're really interested in funding projects that will be sustained. And we understand 100% of the project activities may not be feasible for sustainment. And we are looking for projects that demonstrate an achievable future in that implementation plan. There is a section at the back end of the application to learn more about equipment restriction and other funding restrictions. So just as an example, we will be happy if you're interested in applying for a proposal that emphasizes, nutrition security, and you want to start up a school pantry and you need funding for refrigeration. We can support small equipment, such as, a small refrigerator, but this grant program will not support commercial grade equipment. So like no walk-in refrigerators or freezers or things like that. So, but you can learn a little bit more about that and what's eligible for funding. So when approaching in-kind contributions, consider goods and services that you or your project collaborators as an organization are contributing or may contribute to the project. Examples might be materials and supplies that maybe your school or your organization is offering to support these activities within your plan, and they're not being funded by the grant, or donation of volunteer time or facility usage. So you could do your best to provide an estimate of those costs. It doesn't have to be comprehensive, but anything that you can include in your proposal is really helpful. For additional project ideas that can help inspire your proposal, we encourage you to check out the grant page to learn more about projects that Let's Eat Healthy has funded and some of the impact in the community. So we do have a few that we're listing here. Healthy RC is a great example of a youth empowerment project that engaged teens as teachers to lead a food literacy project in the San Bernardino County. OC Fair and Events Center really focused on a project enhancing Centennial Farm, which is down in Orange County. Their dairy ag literacy program and education resources through training, field trips, and experiential lessons with students. San Diego Unified School District
can't talk, but I can
did a
text.
great example of really bringing in community partners to implement a school milk recovery program. They also did some training with their school food service staff. So they did a lot of things within that nutrition security space. Community Housing Opportunities Cooperation, also known as CHOC, expanded their nutrition education and dairy ag literacy as part of their programming to youth in underserved communities across 6 locations in Sacramento and Yolo counties. Griffith Middle School and Hants Downey Unified School District's middle school culinary program. They expanded their curriculum in food labs and also launched a district-wide culinary competition, which had I believe, 4 middle schools participate, which was amazing. And then Lake Elsinore Unified School District, they enhanced their district's expanded learning program with nutrition education. They also did some dairy ag literacy activities and tastings and cooking clubs, which was a great experience for their students. And then Orcutt Union School District, they transformed one of their high school cafeterias to, kind of further nutrition security of their students by implementing the Smarter Lunchrooms movement strategies to increase participation in their school meal program. Oops, skipped one slide. I'm almost at the very end. I know we're almost at time, but anyone that's willing to stay over, we can address questions. I'd love to just do a quick call out. There is another opportunity for those that are interested. Our Let's Eat Healthy Leadership Award program is about to open nominations. So this is an annual recognition program that really shines a spotlight on California nutrition champions that are going above and beyond in their communities to make an impact. And if you know someone or you yourself or peer or a leader out in the community, if they're making a difference and really embodying the Let's Eat Healthy spirit, we encourage you to submit a nomination. Nominations, I think they're going to open starting October 21st. And we will be making the public announcement during National Nutrition Month. So that'll be March 2025. And there is a fun little prize package that goes with, with this program given to those recipients. And I'd like to thank everyone for your time. I know this was a very quick, run through, but my contact information is there. I'm happy to, support you in providing technical advising, answer any questions that you have. And we hope that this webinar was helpful and you feel empowered to submit your proposal. And for those that have submitted a proposal or plan to, we look forward to reviewing your plan and all your great ideas.